What's up, everybody? My name is Mateo. I am on the board of Sacred Voices, and thank you for joining us for our Sacred Voices open mic live today. So, just as a reminder, Sacred Voices is an organization that promotes unity and healing among Black, Indigenous people of color and communities through creative expression, while empowering youth to find their voice, power, and become leaders in their communities. I'm going to be your host for tonight, and I'm really excited to bring up one of our features in a moment. But really quick, just going to run through like our open mic really quick for any performers we may have on deck. So just as a reminder, performance spots are 5 to 10 minutes. So I will signal you when you are running out of time. If you do go over, we will have to stop you. Although we do actually have kind of a smaller crowd, so I'm actually not sure I'll have to stop y'all today. But so that's the first ground rule. Second ground rule: the show is recorded, so some performances may be shared on our social media. If you do not, consent to that, please just let myself know, and we can, turn off the video recording for your performance specifically. Next, you're allowed to say whatever you want. So we are not, a space of censorship. We, really care about you being able to express yourself fully within the space. The only thing that we ask, of course, is like no hate speech, no sexism, racism, transphobia, homophobia, none of that. And yeah. Next, I'm just going to give kind of like a little demonstration of like, mic technique. So typically speaking, you want to stand about like this, sort of distance from the mic, kind of depending on your setup. But you don't want to be, all up on it like that, because then, that'll be a little uncomfortable for your audience and probably for yourself. But you do you. At the end of the day, I'm not, going to tell you what to do. All right, cool. So, before I bring up our amazing featured artist, I will be sharing a piece of my own just to kick off the mic. So, yeah. So, for those of y'all who like know me and have tuned into my performances before, you know that I've written a lot of like love poems. And most of the time, I would say that those have kind of focused on other people and kind of like the way that I've experienced like love from them. And this one's a little bit different and is more of like a reflection of how I've healed from those relationships and like who I am now. And yeah, so I hope you all like it. It's called Prayer Burning. I know the love of tenderness after burning. With each loss, I have shed a past form, enshrining myself in a permanent transformation. I cannot be the same. My reflection has been the most clear in the aftermath of disintegration, when I dust the ashes from my skin and feel what is to be reclaimed by molten earth. I have grown affinity with the taste of smoke. I no longer fear the heat and beads of salt water running down my face. I have shed so many past loves with my disentangled forms, cast so many beloved futures into fire, preparing myself for greater harvests. Each time, I saw my younger self alone and weeping in the ruins, wondering where to run to. I walk up to myself, extend a calm and open hand with all the space and wisdom I could not offer myself before. How many times have I held myself on fire so I could hold my own entirety? I'm learning what it means to sow seeds and prayers, how to tend and watch them grow. Despite my past, I know that love doesn't have to be disastrous, even if it ends. How we suffer trying to control what cannot be predicted, how we trap each other inside of ideas of who we are. My heart seeks peacefulness and eternity, a place where I will rest my head, and I'm just along for the ride until I figure out how to find it. Thanks, y'all. All right, so without further ado, it is my pleasure to welcome up our amazing featured guest performer today, Amayas Gonzalez. So, Amayas Gonzalez is a multiracial Latina artist and creative. Amayas was born and raised in Denver, Colorado, but spent their summers and holidays in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Their art ties their cultural background and trans and queer identities into photo series, clothing, poetry, and performance art. Amayas had their first solo show at the age of 20 in Denver at Spectra Art Space, showcasing poetry and upcycled clothing and an upcycled clothing collection called Pearls, Neon Lights, and Hatred. Amayas continues to push their art into spaces they weren't allowed, carving a place for future generations of trans femmes of color and giving voice to stories that haven't been told. So, yeah, without further ado, give it up for Amayas.
I hope that was a little awkward. Um, and I wanted it to be. I asked some of the people that I love and the people that I hold closest to me to ask me some questions about my life. This first one is, where do I see myself in 5 years? I see myself on billboards and on magazine covers and all around the world. I envision a beautiful life for myself, way beyond what I have now. And I also see my transition going to a place where it connects to what I want for myself. The next question is, how will I love myself in the future like I do now? I'll continue doing everything that I'm doing now to love myself and do it 10 times more and just love myself completely in all of the ways my body will be, in all the ways that my transness will be, in all the ways that I will be as a person, and love that fully and feel all of those things, understand where those insecurities come from, fight those insecurities, love those insecurities, and turn them into to just love for myself. The next question is, how will I achieve my dreams? I dream a lot, and I always say more is more is more, and I want so many things, and I am so stubborn, and I know what I want, and I'm gonna go and get that. And no matter how hard I have to fight, tooth and nail, I will get what I want. and my dreams will come true. And I think my dreams will change too, and I have to be okay with that change. And um, I'll go with it, however way it flows. The next question is, how can I stay in the moment with the tough times but still look ahead? For me and everyone around me knows, I always say, like, don't let 10 seconds affect your 24 hours. And that is one of my biggest motivators and just like keeping a happy life, because life sucks, life is difficult, life is a journey, and every day is something new, and I have to be grateful to experience life in every way that I can, and I have to love all of the pieces of my life no matter what, because if I don't, like, who else will? So yeah. The next question is, what needs to die for new parts of me to exist? And this question's kind of hard for me because I don't necessarily see anything as dying. I just see things as growing over or becoming new. I All of the pieces of myself that were before and now, I still have to love and I still have to cherish. I hold baby Amias close to my heart. I hold teenage Amias like close to my heart, and I hold Amias now close to my heart. And all of those stages, I've had to shed certain things, but it's just regrowth, just more and more and more growth. And all of those roots are still there. And I have to feel those, and I have to love those, and I have to cherish those. This last question, what does it take to love you fully? Um, I wish I knew. And one day I might, and one day it might just happen. But I think maybe just unconditional would be the way to put that. But yeah. So I'm going to start with my poems. Not me almost falling. The Journey of Amias. I'm always a mess with the mics. Don't let me ever get near the mics. So, this first poem is called I Fell. My first love was my mom. When she lined her lips and styled her pompadour and put on her hoops, she protects me from the world. She is the love of my life. I fell in love with two girls in preschool. I bought them gum. We kissed in the tunnel on the playground. I thought they were the loves of my life. I fell in love with a girl in elementary. We still talk to this day. I love her. She is beautiful. She is a love of my life. The first time I fell for a boy was in 6th grade. I was the chunky weird kid. He was the one who called me names. I hate to love him. He reminded me of what I could never be. He will forever be a love of my life. I fell in love with a boy within an hour of meeting him. He knows even if he acts like he doesn't. I miss him. I don't see him often, but our energies are always together. Cerulean and lilac. I found the love of my life. I fell in love with a boy after the first date. He was the second man to call me beautiful and really mean it. He blocked me 3 days later. I thought he was the love of my life. I fell in love with myself 19 years too late. The rage and anger and femme that hid themselves for too long finally accepts it. I don't miss him. I love them. Transness wasn't a possibility, it seemed. Transition seemed far away. A few days before my birthday, I surprised myself. That energia was a fantasia I could never recreate. I danced with my ancestors. I danced with violence. I danced with danger. I danced with hate. I danced with the stars and the moon and the galaxy, but I fell in love. I fell in love with me today. I'm the love of my life, and I will have many loves of my life, but this love will be forever. So this whole set, I kind of gave it a name of just cake. And I ran with that idea because my performance piece and a lot of my poems are all very interconnected. with love and just like my life and how I interact with the world and all of those things. And so I'm excited to share more with y'all. But this next one is called Chismosas. I lay in the lavender-stained gardens of my dreams, every shade of purple guiding me. Lilac kisses are paradise in an antique frame, heart pupils and bubbles and airbrushed reasons. I live in a galaxy of flores y amor, homegirls and fantasias. Life is a never-ending painting of kaleidoscope and heartache, a world of pastel visions, pink waters and mint skies, baby blue grass and coral dollars. I live in a world that wants me to hate myself, destroy what I love, a world that gives me everything and nothing that I give myself. I loathe and mirrored hallways of empty promises. I watch as my Swarovski nails pick up a macaron too pretty to eat. Pasteles y galletas, glamour and fame. My Christian Louboutins so Kate 120mm black patent leathers shine like diamonds in a city full of cracked sidewalks and broken dreams. Each step I take carefully towards the world that breathes me, stepping over each crack, smiling for the camera, awaiting judgment and laughter, pulling my fur tighter and checking my phone, chewing gum hatefully. Gucci frames and gold hoops, my ancestors giving tens while pastel clouds follow me. While I daydream in the heat of summer, boba tea sipped while chismosas pull out their Nokias with charms. My gold tooth rains sweet dreams of a telenovela star. I walk runway while the girlies are gagging, ostrich feathers and gems and studs and lace and silk and everything expensive. Earl Grey tea on a Sunday afternoon with the rucas while Angel Baby plays on the record. A place called Hood and Ghetto was the birthplace of my ancestors, of my mom's lip liner and her pompadour. I loved to dream of the babes and girls lying in the fields with big-ass hoops and liner on, watching the lives of the ones before us. Tears and emotions while we were being bougie and banji, we click our nails and suck on lollipops while a homeboy rides by in his Cadillac 62. The world is my runway and the girlies are my muse. I wish I knew how you looked at me because that's how I would look at you. Our love is a pastel fountain that overflows. My dreams haven't become reality because they stay secrets awaiting to be shouted. So that's that one. So a lot of my poems are also about my mom and just figuring out culturally where I fit, figuring out where I fit in the world as a trans femme, and figuring out where my dreams need to be placed and need to be told. So this next one is untitled. I've always wanted to fly. It's been a dream of mine since I was little. Before I knew fear, I knew euphoria. Smiles and lollipops and beauty. My hand out the window of the car, singing mumbled words to my favorite songs. I felt alive. Seeing my mom get ready was like a movie I could watch on repeat, wishing it was my face instead of hers. I've always been scared, but fear was understanding my femininity had no place in this world as long as they kept telling me it didn't. And me holding the power to my femininity and not knowing how to use it. I hid myself in the late nights listening to records about love, the analog sounds of half of the world going to sleep, the tumbles and falls of saying I wanted a kilt, not a skirt, saying I would only wear lipstick for special occasions or getting platforms and not heels. My mom told me to be myself, my dad told me to be myself, but they didn't understand the implications of their child actually doing that. I got lost in the sounds of Polaroids, people's expectations, and my dreams. I got my first pair of heels shipped to my friend's house instead of my own because of fear. I only wore lipstick at school and took it off before I got into my mom's car because of fear. I asked myself too many questions because of fear, and those questions have been answered with me becoming myself. My mom being loving and understanding, my dad still calling me he, powder puffs, corsets, and tight heels. My energy is free. My femininity has kept me alive. The world kept wanting to clip my wings, but they kept growing, and I never stopped shining. My femininity wasn't lost, it was found. It was a dream to fly, but now it's my reality. Thank you. Also, I talk a lot about lollipops, but it's because if you ever see me out in the world, I will always have a lollipop with me. Always, 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 no matter where I am, I'll be walking down the street, living my little fantasia with the lollipop, like, down. That is just always a little piece of Amayas. Like, Amayas is the girlie with the lollipop. So, This next one is also untitled. A girly does not title very many poems, so don't come for the girl. But Untitled 5, Untitled 20, they're all there, and they're all in my heart. So I've discovered so little and so much about myself. I haven't found all the little secrets that whisper in the shadows of my overthinking. I find out something new about myself every day. I lose something old about myself every day. I love something new every day. I loathe something old every day. I paint my face like I paint canvas. Each stroke of the brush, a new idea. My brain creates cutout dresses, Mary Jane platforms, rhinestone eyes, and neon blush. My kiki boots are on during my walks through the city. I wish for kisses and hugs and cuddles. The rain-soaked streets of Soho, Denver sunshine. The gems of my soul reflect love. I care so much and so little at the same time. I want so much and so little at the same time. I need so much and so little at the same time. Daydreams catch up to the deadlines of my life. Disappointments and failure, a buffet for my hungry stomach and over-snacking. My sketchbook full of ripped pages and 1-second hearts. My sketches stay alive in my head. I try to stay alive in my head. This world is forever moving, and I fight to keep one step ahead. And while I sleep, the constellations of love and hate fight to remain in line. Playing tag, I've had to use so many different IDs to get into the clubs that want my aesthetics but not my transness. I finally have my own ID with my own face. The lady said I could smile. As the flash hit me, I look like the bitch the world made me to be, and I'm okay with that. They say I got a resting bitch face. No, I have this face of safety. I have the face of trauma. I have the face of cunt, and I won't have it any other way. I think back to my tears and my happiness as a kid. I ran around laughing and loving and throwing eggs on the floor until I found the hard-boiled ones. The most stubborn little femme fighting for what they wanted. And they want more, and I'm going to get more. Little Amias is like screaming right now, seeing who they've become, and sometimes it's really hard for me to be proud of myself, because of my expectations, and I need to know that like I am amazing, and I need to be proud of what I've done and what I will accomplish, and I just need to hold myself more to that place. So this next one is called Body. Hi, everybody. And yes, I mean everybody. I want to say hi with this body. I want to say bye with this body. These thick thighs, dark armpits, deep ass voice, bumpy skin, all of it. I want to be gooped every time I look in the mirror. I want to see all the things people call flaws and name each one. Love them. I want to be overflowing with love, with femininity, with tens for myself. When I look at the mirror, I see power. And my power is not a side dish for men to eat up. This body is not for your consumption. This body is for me. I love all the things they tell me to hate about myself. This body is a full fucking meal. My fat rolls are cinnamon buns of my ancestors' dreams. They are the peaks and valleys of an overlooked self. They are the bread, the butter, and the bag of chips. My thighs are a rich cake, thick buttercream. A little hint of hair and a once-a-month pimple, they will crush a man's dream and create his fantasy. I will not be sorry for this body. I will not be sorry for eating all the goodies and delicacies, because, honey, I am what I eat, and I eat good. My body is the fantasia, my body is the fantasia, my body is the fantasia, and I'll say that for forever. Because the girlie knows I'm cunty as fuck. I wear my fur coats in summer and my booty shorts in winter. I want people to never know what to expect from me. A big bitch in a thin heel and ultra crop jean underwear. I can give anything and everything. I'm the leg and dairy girly. I'm the pearl Swarovski feather girly. I'm the no rules about my body girly. I am the no judgment girly. I'm the girly who gets what they want. And yes, I may want the man's next door, but I want myself more. I just have 2 more. This next one is also untitled. We won't talk about it. The kisses I give are art. The life I have is art, the paint strokes of love, the blood splatters of violence, slurs said with hidden desire, nails bitten because payday wasn't serving acrylic. Taking puffs from the girl blunts, the bad tattoos, the painful heels, the toes smashed in a pump, blood rushing and pushing. The smell of flowers, the vintage, the modern, waterways stained neon yellow for the new Valentino collection. The stars exploding in the small universe we live in, model stomps and laughs in the streets we smile and spin under the city lights, caught in each other's energies. Our embrace only separated by an atom, sweet tea, movies playing in the background, dreaming of stardom, dancing in the streets, rain pours and ruins my makeup, mascara running, my gloss turning into stained lips, lashes falling off. I'm still beautiful, and I'm still in love. That one was a short one. Short little poems. I think a lot of my life, I haven't been given the opportunity to be myself. And now that I have that opportunity, and now that I know myself more, I will never, ever dilute myself for the world. I will never walk out of my door and think about what the world's thinking of my outfit. I could care less, because I care what I think. I care what I see in the mirror, and I love it. And every single day I need to put that energy out there, because I deserve love just as much as anybody else, and I need to love myself more than anybody, because that's where the most love for you comes from. And I need to shape that, and I need to hold it, and I need to keep it. So this last poem, because I am a mess and I love being my procrastinating little cuckoo ADD self. Come on, dyslexia too. So, words are mixing and words are smashing. But I wrote this last night, and I feel like this is the first time I've really written myself into a poem, and like fully blown like everyday Amaya's thoughts out on a poem. So I'm excited to share it with y'all. It's called 40th and Colorado Station. Why can't I hate myself on Tuesdays and love you at the same time? I want to look in the mirror and fall deeply with the femme I am. I want to be in the bathtub of my dreams, thinking of how many ways I can love myself. They say you can't have your cake and eat it too. Well, guess what? I will. I'm going to bake, eat, and thrive in my cake, make as many as I want. How dare you look at me and think for a second I'd believe your small minds? Because this girlie knows what they want. They know how many stares they'll receive walking on Fifth Avenue, lips filled to the gods. Balenci dressed me, and I have 5 paper bags filled with luxury, of course. Names plastered on the side. The only double C's I need in my life are conceited and cunt. But I carry my black patent leather quilted double flap just to remind you, I will always be flavorful. A 10 in my own world, don't need to reflect on yours. I crave myself and all the flavors hand fed to me on silver spoons. I ask for more because I deserve it. My mom always told me closed mouths don't get fed. That's why I stopped closing mine. I speak my mind because why would I speak yours? I don't try and cater to you. I cater to myself. I click my nails and suck on my lollipops. I tell you I'm not doing that shit, and still I thrive. I take Polaroids because I like memories of the times I didn't do what men wanted me to. When I suck my teeth and stare real good and walk my cute little self away. They love watching me leave, but hate how considerate to myself I am. Hey, boundaries, were you calling? I think I needed you weeks ago. When's the next runway show? Are you going to wear that outfit from your fave designer you hate? Or are you going to wear a thong and a fur like you should? I love my body, and you'll never love it as much as me. You'll never touch it as much as me. You'll never as much as me. Sophie plays in my left ear as I watch each person get on the 40. Looks of confusion, interest, and disgust fill the space. Because I cry because I can, because weakness is not a bad thing, and my tears are the strongest bitch on this bus. I stop my way out so they can all see my self-love while I think about how many times I said like during an award ceremony. How many steps did you take between those 2 sidewalk panels of my eyes? Because if it wasn't even, step into the next one, but only once so you can make it even. OMG, do you have rhinestones on your nails? Because, like, me too. But, like, rhinestones are everything. I mean, why can't I love myself? Why can't I hate myself on Tuesdays and love you at the same time? I put on my heels, I put on my fur coat, I lock my front door, and I walk into the street careful. because I don't want to take up too much space. I turn away because I don't want to make a mom have the conversation with her kid. I put in one headphone so I keep alert. I still love myself, I think. The days I really feel the curves of my body are the days I feel sexiest. The first kiss is either the best or the worst, and I'll definitely tell you if it was bad. But compliments are complicated for me because my reflection is praised to the highest degree. But the world around me gets my opinions and my care and my love, just not through praise, through overthinking. How many times have I stared in that direction? Did I say too much? Is the radio's volume divisible by 2, 3, or 5? Will I ever find myself sexy? Will I ever not be sexy? 'Cause bitch, I'm hot as fuck. How dare anyone say otherwise? Because when I pop on my gloss and I work the runway, aka the jank sidewalks of Montbello, I am everything. Opulence is more than a look, it's an emotion. I lay on silk sheets imported with Italian cream cake, and I dream of my life. I dream of my dreams. I draw the constellations in my own way to create my own universe. I like leaving my gloss on your chin and reapplying each time we kiss. I kiss the stars and the clouds I fly in. Love wrapped itself around me and kissed my forehead, almost if it was telling me it will be all right. I pull the string because my stop is next, even though it's the last stop. I want to make sure they know I'm getting off, make sure they watch the show, make sure I thank the driver and thank my reflection as I watch myself walk to the train. The tears dried on my cheeks. I dance in the cold to whatever my headphones play, then I hear my train come, so I stop. And I get myself collected, and as the train stops and I'm waiting to get on, I think of where to sit. And when I do, when I sit opposite of the side of the train doors open to watch who steps on after me. I mark details in my brain, little sketches of everyone. If I see everyone come on, I'll know who my attacker is. The songs keep playing while I regain warmth in my body and cheeks, my tears thawed. I made them fashion, though. Dragged my black liner down each tear. I made a fashion statement. I smiled and stared out the window. I know they saw me do this, but I'm hot, and I need to remember that. Why can't I hate myself on Tuesdays and love you at the same time? I can. I can eat my slices in the cold of winter, before and after we kiss, when I'm walking on Fifth Avenue, when I'm crying, when I believe and when I question. I know, and I hope you do too. So that was my last one. Thank y'all so much for being here. Thank you, whoever is watching. Yeah, besitos for all of you. Love from me and energy from me. Thank you again. Yes.
All right, y'all. So everybody, please give it up for Amias. Yeah, especially to those of y'all watching at home. Yeah, it was really a pleasure to have them. This is the first time that I think Sacred Voices has ever featured Amias' poetry. So if you want to check them out, you can find them on Instagram at Amias Gonzalez. And I really recommend, just following their work because it is very profound. So cool. So with that being said, I think we can probably move on to the open mic portion of the show. So really quick, just gonna pull up the open mic list and we can get started. But really quick, did any of you sign up for the open mic? You did not. Okay. Aston? I'm not sure if we had any virtual performers or not, but if we don't, I can improvise. All right, I'll do some pieces. Cool. All right. Little mini feature. Yay. Let's see. All right, I'll recite this poem. So let's see. So this is a piece that I wrote a couple of years ago when I was like really healing from a lot of, I guess, internal trauma and this relationship that I had been in, and kind of, I guess, mourning that sort of experience of like being with someone who you felt very fulfilled by, but also knowing like you have to start filling those gaps in for yourself. And that's really what a lot of my art is really based around. So this one is called Amor Eterno, and it's based off of a song by a Mexican artist named Juan Gabriel. There is a concert hall in my chest I carved from loss. The mariachi bands have long since played their last note here, and my friends have stopped visiting to hear the music. But sometimes I sit upon the balcony, hum a lonely song, and remember fond memories. What if is a grave I used to visit often, my seance for a death I couldn't accept. I brought flowers to pick for you and left petals as meager indulgences for fate, begged her to change her mind. Nowadays, I leave bouquets to dry in the sun. I do not sit with bated breath. I exhale and let the wind take what it must. On the hard days, loss fills my ribcage like the bass of a Spanish guitarra. Desperation claws at me inside like the sharpest note in a string of violins. There are so many shades to unravel in this grief. There is a certain allure that I have to this honest pain, a certain respect that I have developed for its presence, the way that it keeps me up at night with its wailing, demanding that I listen to all of the sad songs you two shared together. I practice this ritual every fortnight or so, in the tradition of great Mexican artists who brought stadiums to tears with their unbearable loss, or Frida, who couldn't stop painting her own face. That 17-year-old boy whose lips you kissed for the last time on a beautiful cold day in April still sits on the corner of my bed sometimes and cries. I feel the breeze between barren tree limbs, the time between cool string lights and a fevered sun, before the leaves can sprout again, and know that his tears are coming. I, 3 years his senior, have learned to be a better brother. I sit beside him, shed of my expectations, and let him mourn and mourn what he must. I let him do this every time a song comes on that hits just the right note, each time the sunlight falls between the branches in a familiar way, every time someone tilts their head in scornful misunderstanding of both their pain and mine. Bless this grief, which taught me resiliency. Thank this grief, which taught me that I could survive without you present. Holy be this grief, which taught me how to love others in absence. Amen. I'd like to imagine that Juan Gabriel is still up there somewhere, playing his songs for spirits forever unresolved, and for lonely boys like me, whose eyes fog up at sunsets, whose eyes stay hooked to crescent moons. Thank you. Cool. Do y'all have anything you want to share? Yeah? You want to come up? Either of y'all? Cool. Yeah, what's your name? All right, we're going to have Bob come up to the stage, y'all, so please give it up. Yeah. Take it away.
Well, hello, I'm Bob. I've been traveling around country reading poetry. This is a very impressive professional studio, and I appreciate you opening it up to us tonight. Here's a poem that I wrote recently. Inventing Sex. The Hellfire Club was in a basement in Manhattan. Old meat market. Skinned cow carcasses, transvestites and whores, sexy and scary, waiting for truckers, pre-cruising, 1970s, deserted docks, when sex was new. Gay and straight, safety pin, nipple pierce, Hell's Angels, the invention of goth. How do you fuck? In leather? tied up, mayonnaise, dressed in a skirt. It has all been done now. Rerun and flattened. How do I love you in the long run? The work of life and cultural reversion. Empty perversion, but the spark of us. How can I love you more fully? Thank you. And I guess I'm doing okay on time.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you want to read another one.
Thank you. The Wonder Bar is a redneck place in a lefty town. Gay couples and Trumpies eating burgers and foo-foo pastas, making peace for the moment. Drinks on primary night. Later, we return to tribe and pride and pronouns, upscale lounge, where we spoke of analytics and marketing medicine. At your new job, creative director, why do I feel out of place? Post-pandemic, how to kiss your face, where to touch. Do our perfect teeth and gendered titles defeat our own propaganda? Thank you. I'm doing okay with time?
I think so. So, did any of y'all who just walked in sign up for the open mic? Yeah. Yes? Okay. Maybe like one more.
Okay.
Yeah.
David had Asperger's and was an underage male prostitute I met at a Berkshire commune when we were street kids in 1968. He lifted weights and looked like the Dutch boy, a muscular male beauty with an earnest smile and flat affect. He ate health food. They say his family was wealthy. He collected pennies and sold candy. I turned him on to weed, and he always thanked me for that. As we grew to adulthood and stayed in touch, we accrued great wealth, gentrifying. He would visit me and offer his love, his fabulous body, Mount Everest of masculine beauty. He lived like a monk in one room, managing his buildings. I have more love than anyone, he smiled, as his lifelong Johns called him last we met. I imagine you died of AIDS. You haven't returned my calls in years. I miss you, Dave. I will always love you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Bob, for coming up to the mic. I know that was a little spontaneous. But yeah, so it looks like we just got a couple of performers who came in. Were you gonna perform? Yeah. Okay, cool. What's your name? All right, awesome. So next up to the stage, we've got Annie Fox. So yeah.
I've never performed a poem before, so stick with me on this. This poem is called Friday Nights. Friday nights are supposed to be shared with other humans. Instead, I'm here, contemplating whether to text them and hope they're near. Friday nights are meant to be spent under stadium lights surrounded by people you love. How come I'm staring at the ceiling waiting for a feeling, one that doesn't make me want to cry? Friday nights by myself, staring at the books on my shelf, waiting to be picked up and read through, just like I wish someone were to do to me. Friday nights aren't for going to bed at 9 p.m., but for being with them. Friday nights are to go see a play, not for writing essays. But what else is there to do when you're everyone's second choice? You can't speak up or use your voice. So I'll distract myself from being lonely and convince myself you went to bed so I don't run in circles with my head. Friday nights are meant for parties and being out late, not for carrying the weight of all the problems you can't seem to let go. Instead, I'm here, overwhelmed with fear of what I hear on the news, deciphering people's points of views. But what does it matter anyway? The ice is melting, no one's helping, and all I could care about is a text back, not the people suffering in Iraq. The votes will sway, they say, and all I'm worried about is Friday. Yet we live on a tiny speck in the universe, so things could be a lot worse. But instead I'm here, wishing I could clear. The emotions draw near whenever someone mentions your name. So here's to Friday nights and not picking fights over things that don't matter or feelings that could shatter.
Awesome. Yeah, let's give it up. That was their first time on the mic, so yeah, great job. Was that your only piece, or did you have more that you would like to? Okay, for sure. Awesome. Well, yeah, welcome to Sacred Voices, and I'm glad that you shared your work with us tonight. All right. Cool. So we're gonna keep this open mic rolling. I'm gonna see if we have anybody else who had signed up to go. Do we have Cooper by any chance? Cooper? All right. So it sounds like you're up next. So are you ready? Yeah. All right, perfect. Yeah, everybody give it up for Cooper.
Just go. Yeah. Okay. I felt inside myself an emptiness, an unfillable void. I felt myself be consumed, watched dispassionately as I faded bit by bit, day by day. I became unknowable to my own eyes. I wonder what they would see, how they would react. I owe it to them, that twisted child full of spite and anger, that unkillable beast whose nails and teeth tore a place for me to live, whose nails and teeth would have torn the gods from the sky if only they had the energy to get up. But I am grateful for the stillness, grateful that they could not act. It would have been their last. I have grown, but I have not left behind all those years. The animal still haunts my lungs and bares its teeth. We are not so different, this beast and I. We were both once beautiful. We were both once soft. Because although I have sheathed my claws, the beast remains untamed. The glint of hunger still glows faintly in my eyes. When I die, it will be the last light to leave me. It will take some undoing to pull the beast from these bones and lay me down to rest.
Awesome. Yeah, let's give it up for Cooper. Was that your first time performing? No? Second time? Okay, cool. Well, yeah, very impressive. Thank you for sharing. All right. So it looks like we did have a couple of other people signed up, but I'm not sure if anybody is here. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this right. Sadiha Simpson, by any chance? No? Okay. We have somebody named Rat who signed up to perform, but not sure. No Rat in the audience? Okay. All right. I guess in that case, I saw that you had just walked in. Are you interested in sharing anything? No pressure, but yeah, just trying to see. No improv? No, I'm joking. All right, that's all right. I can maybe perform a couple of pieces and then yeah, kind of just round us out for the night. But really quick, just want to thank everybody, who actually came out tonight. I know it's kind of a cold day and we don't usually actually have this open mic on the third Friday. We have them on the second Fridays, so appreciate y'all making the time to be here. Yeah, so before I get into my pieces, really quickly just wanted to run through some logistics for Sacred Voices. So in addition to this open mic, which we typically have on the second Fridays here at Denver Community Media, we also have a first Friday open mic, which we have at the Tonantzin Casa de Café, which is on Santa Fe Drive. And that one is from 5:30 to 7:30. So if you're, around on Art Walk on that day, then we kind of just have a pop-up open mic, and you can feel free to come and just sign up and share your work. So yeah, I'm usually at those as well, so you'll probably catch me there. And yeah, I hope to see you all over there. If you would like to support our work, we do encourage you all to follow us on Instagram and on Facebook at Sacred Voices Denver. We also have a YouTube channel there where we upload all of our high quality performances. As you all can see right here, this is kind of a little studio setup that we have, so we're able to upload some pretty high quality performances onto there. So yeah, if you have anybody who would be interested in maybe having one of those videos and things like that, then definitely ask them to come to this open mic on the second Friday. You can also check out our website at sacred-voices.org and figure out other ways to support us. And yeah, so now that I went through that, I can maybe I keep saying play a couple of pieces, but I don't play music like that. But I can recite a couple of poems for you all. So let's see. Let me just check through my little notes app really quick. Then I can figure something out. Oh, yeah. Yeah, if you would like to come up, yeah, totally. Oh, but, I've been talking all day. You can definitely, if you want to come up, and then I can, round us out. But, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, cool. Maybe introduce yourself with your name, and then we can.
Hi, I'm Regan. Hello, everyone. Let's see. I don't read in front of people very often. It's going to be interesting. This one is called Take This Away From Me. What is love but the sudden illuminated understanding of what multitudes of solar cross-sections may be contained in such a small, tight space? What is magic? But the ever-curling incense of incredible desire, stretching a single heavy finger to graze what faith cannot. What is this self-imposed shame, O Creator of selfless sin? God, godly thing, if there are words that must be spoken, then say them out and loud into the air. Dionysus, oh Dionysus, mad prince of that heart, whole and hail King of Cups, your compelling was not in the intoxication of the body, but of the mouth and the small, zooming creature racing towards its end bits, lapping at the constant whisper promise of its own hot blood. In the chests of golems, electrocuted into forms of clay and wild swirling spheres and words, it must be said. Say it now, out and loud. I have been in love with everyone I've ever met. And now you as well. Only you. Thank you.
Nice. Do you have another piece you want to share, or was that the main one?
I have a few more.
Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah, we have the time.
Sorry. Let's see. This one will work. Oh, sorry. The wolf is back. The one that arrives, softly snapping, the tail of the last wind, of the last desperate anguish of a reptilian hindbrain, climbing, gulping, heaving out of a glass aquarium into a dark, glistening chest cavity to come face to face with the wolf, who arrived today. I know you. I know you. Oh, I thought you were dead. I had heard that I was dead. So I listened to the songs of the dead through the roots of trees growing by the river and found them true. And in that way, I hope to reach you and tell you that we are dead. We are dead no more. I do not know if you will leave me again, but since I heard your name in a dream and know that it starts with a why, I will never again tell you we have died until you arrive at my door, furless and naked, like a wilted gosling, to tell me yourself.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, give it up for the poet, everybody, for everybody watching at home as well. All right, do we have anybody here who would be interested in maybe reading one more piece? Or if not, I can just read a couple and then maybe round us out for the night. But yeah. All right, sounds good. So, all right, I'm just going to kind of pick one of the pieces that I have here from my notes and then go from there. So, let's see. All right, so this next one is called Love Feet Zakari. It's based off of a song that's titled the same thing. I still remember the first time I heard Love on the car radio. The windows rolled down our friend's SUV, smoke refracting sun rays, your head on my shoulder as you drifted into dreams. It was a road trip full of poems and fire pits. I could have died that night, 16, our friend's laughter echoing through drywall, us a room away. Your heat settled on my skin like the New Mexican sun, Zakari sang to us about love. You left a light on in my head that burns even when I sleep. I drift out of consciousness, and if I stop thinking long enough, I can still see it. If I linger a while longer, I can feel the heat like summer dusk kissing my skin. I no longer live longing like a moth for the glow of fire that passed between us, but damned if the memory doesn't make me smile, damned if our joy doesn't light my way when I remember harder times. Isn't that what love is all about, even if it doesn't last? Love never really dies. Cool. This next one, all right. This next one I have is called, if I can find it, where did it go? It's called Grace. My heart is wound tight and anxious like a clock, always ticking, thinking of mistakes made and times lost. I love this tender heart that trusts too little, too late, that darts at the slightest sign of danger. I forgive you for what you couldn't see in time. I am patient with the lessons that only come with time. Boy, no one else will love you like you, and everything you love you will eventually lose. Forgiveness is the quietest language I know, the softest place I rest my head. I forgive the person who turned my name into poison in her mouth while she was bleeding. I forgive the girl who hung my love on a wall and didn't think to ask how my heart felt first. I forgive the girl who I loved most, who betrayed me while she was hurting, for the way she turned my name into a black hole in her mouth and love never came back out. I pray everyone I love and lost forgives themselves. I pray everyone I love and leave forgives me. Thank you. All right. I think I'm gonna do maybe one more piece, and then we can sort of round out the night. So I'll do one of my like longer poems. So this piece is called Girasol, which means sunflower in Spanish. I have a tendency to remember softness only after I have lost it. After the music has gone quiet and the night swallows my silhouette, I sit back and reflect on our time together. Your room was a place of worship I dwelled in for days. An altar of elaborate tapestries, Polaroids from past lives, and reverential veladoras. I miss the shapes we'd make as our shadows played together in candlelight. The conversations and laughs we shared, the sleepy mornings after when I'd wake beside you. My hands traced the tattoos on your body as I learned everywhere your soul had been. You told me who you were becoming. From your bed, I watched you get ready before your long shift at the cafe the next morning, adoring your grind and confidence. You sifted through the labyrinth of your closet as I admired the handiwork of your tasteful eye, which always chose the perfect adornment. I watched how carefully you held your brush in the mirror, stippling the corners of your eyes with the colors of marigolds and sunsets. I left you, one frigid morning in January after coming over from the dentist. The Dominican lady cleaning my teeth had cut my gums one too many times and rubbed salt water into the tender flesh, as if she were brining the painful words I would bring you. Would you believe me if I said that it hurt me just as much as it hurt you? You were in shock. You didn't see it coming. How could you know a fear I had never spoken aloud? A jade that colored my every love. You were a generous lover to me when I didn't believe in love anymore. You fed me blood orange slices and pomegranate seeds from the inside of your hand and held your heart out to me in the other. I am sorry I could not part with my own then, for leaving with too many words left unsaid. My heart still remembers all of the sweetness you offered me, the gifts I am now breaking open to receive. My pride keeps me from prying, but you are so luminescent that the grapevine brings me the news, and I am tipsy with curiosity. I am not surprised that you are abundant and successful. You are, of course, gorgeous as ever. My hope is you are happy and that you are finding healing. I've heard that my name still finds its way to your lips. When it meets your tongue, does it taste bitter or sweet? Maybe both, like an overripe love. You still wear the earrings I sent to make for you, but you still can't speak to me. Words are funny and fickle that way, but poetry and prayer are my only means to transcend the distance, the only languages spoken between ex-lovers. For whatever it is worth, I am proud of the life that you have made for yourself. I'm not angry at you for protecting your heart, though I hope one day you may come around to hearing mine. Part of me wishes I could have been there for your becoming, but I know I had to become myself too before I could be open to loving someone again. So I hold no regrets. Though our young love didn't last the winter, what a life we shared in a single season. You were a fireplace in a frost-bitten autumn, the sweet oat milk in my coffee. You kept me safe and warm through snowfall, and for your sincere love I'll forever be grateful. Our love was a light tower pointing me towards what I desired most within me, and I am closer to myself for having known you, Girasol. Thank you. Yep. All right. So, that about brings us to the end of the night. Really quick, just want to say, a really heartfelt thank you to everybody who was able to make it out tonight, and also to all the people who were tuning in online. Thank you all so much for supporting Sacred Voices, and we're looking forward to seeing you all back here again at Denver Community Media for our second Friday open mic. And yeah, have a very good night, y'all. Am I missing anything, Aston? Yeah. Oh, yeah. So our next open mic is going to be December 9th of next month. So, yeah, come catch us then. So, yeah, have a good night, everybody.